So they actually did it. If you see one of my last videos, I talked about Wuthering Waves and the potential for it coming to PlayStation and also GeForce Now. Obviously, it's already out on GeForce Now, which you can get right now. It's really good for people who don't have a good device that can't really play, these kind of games that are very graphic intensive. It allows them to pretty much stream the game over from another server, which takes up all the load of playing the game, so you can play it on some really old laptop. But the other thing that I talked about was the release of PlayStation, which wasn't fully announced, and that we saw it being added to the lineup of the China Joy PlayStation game announcement. So pretty much it was a ton of games that was going to be announced at China Joy, and we didn't know whether this was going to be China only or for literally everyone, and it seems like it's for everyone. As recently we got this announcement from Wuthering Waves saying, "Dear Rovers, we're excited to announce that PS5 version of Wuthering Waves is now officially in development. We'll provide updates on the official launch time of the PS5 version in the future. Please stay tuned for more information," which is just great, but there may be some small things that might cause issues for Wuthering Waves, which we're going to get into in this video. But before I get into this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy it, and also go over to Gamersubs and use my code KAZA, where they've got a ton of events going on at the moment, so you can get yourself some really nice cups. I mean, they've had an Android 6.9 event, which I really like, and I really like the cup design. Yeah, just go over there, have a browse, maybe even buy a cup or a tub, and don't forget to use my code for 10% off. But let's get back into the video. So we've gotten this article from the Video Gamer, which says Wuthering Waves PS5 announcement comes with bad news. Now, you may be wondering what that is. Well, we're getting right into that. It says Wuthering Waves has become massive since its full release on mobile and PC earlier this year. It isn't quite as big as Genshin Impact yet, but it definitely is up there and has potential to become as equally huge as Horror vs. King. Now, I don't really agree with that. I don't think Wuthering Waves will ever be as big as Genshin Impact. Maybe it will get as big as it in the future whenever Genshin Impact falls off, but I definitely know that it won't reach the heights that Genshin Impact did. It had a lot of advantages, including COVID at the time, that made it just perform so much better, but I could see it doing better than it whenever Genshin Impact kind of, loses some of its players. But then they go on to say that we've known from the start of the year that Wuthering Waves was planned for PS5, which we saw in the Shanghai Festival, and I talked about this in my last video, but unfortunately, as noticed by many players, Kuro's new announcement that a PS5 version is in development makes no mention of PS4. This seems to suggest that the game is not coming to PS4 consoles despite previous reports. So people did think that this game was coming to PlayStation 4 because obviously, it is still a pretty good console. I mean, I've still got one kicking about. But if we take a closer look at this post, it does say coming to PlayStation. Now, it does say PS5 in the corner, and they say PS5 quite a lot, but it does say PlayStation rather than PlayStation 5. So maybe they're hinting that there might be a PlayStation 4 release. We don't know yet. But it'll be interesting to see if they actually do add it to PS4, because as I said, there's lots of people that can't afford a PS5 or can't afford the upgrade for a PS5. And it would just be great to have it on both, allowing people just to play the game whatever console they're on, which is the whole point of bringing it over to console. But if this were to happen, then Kuro Games actually talked about a PS5 matching the ultra graphics setting on PC, meaning that whenever this comes out on PS5, we should be seeing a similar graphics rate as the PC version. As you know, the PC version is absolutely insane. If you turn up all the settings to max, it's super high quality, super nice, and obviously the PS5 has some really good capabilities whenever it comes to running games on super high settings. And I've also heard that Wuthering Waves is going to be getting 120 FPS soon, and obviously this would fit in quite nicely with the PS5 because whenever they upgraded to the PS5, they actually added 120 FPS, so it would be perfect timing for them to add it to the game in general and also add it to the PS5 version, meaning that if you're playing PS5, then you're going to be getting exactly the same quality as literally anyone else, if not better than a lot of other people, because yeah, the PS5 can just handle this with ease. But as I said, we don't know if this is coming to PS4 yet, but they did say that the PS4 version will receive settings slightly higher than the maximum mobile settings, meaning that on the PS4, it isn't going to be the same experience as the PS5. As you know, the PS4 is pretty outdated now. I could not even remember whenever I got mine, but it doesn't exactly run as well as, the PS5 does. And obviously, games have just developed over time where they're more straining on devices, and the PS4 might not be able to catch up with that, but it can run it on some pretty minimal settings, meaning that if you're playing on PS4, the quality may be a little bit worse than PS5, if not a lot more, because it says it's slightly higher than mobile settings. And obviously mobile settings, they're alright, it depends what phone you run it on. But again, we'll just have to wait and see if a PS4 version even comes out, because they might not even bother. And that might be one of the main reasons why they're not bothering with a PS4 version, because they can't make it as graphically nice as maybe they would have wanted to. Then they go on to say, seeing as there's no mention of the PS4 at all in Kuro's new PlayStation confirmation, it seems possible that the PS4 version has been dropped. this could be disappointing, as despite the fact that PS5 has been out since 2020, there are many people across the world who still play on PS4, and that's very true. As I said at the beginning of this video, there's still a ton of people that maybe can't afford a PS5, maybe don't even want to upgrade to a PS5 because it's really not that different apart from, the actual hardware mechanics, who enjoy playing on their PS5, and it would be like so much better if they actually added it to both games, just because you'd broaden the audience that you'll be able to get coming over to Wuthering Waves, because if you limit it to just one console, then obviously you're limiting the amount of players that get to play this, and the whole point of bringing it over to PlayStation is allowing more players to play this game. And again, as I said, it would be just higher than, maximum graphic settings on mobile, which to be fair isn't even that bad. So honestly, I definitely think that they should add it to PS4, because, a PS4 version would help a lot of people, especially some of them that will still be playing Genshin Impact and probably even Zone Zero. I'm pretty sure Zone Zero is actually out on PS4 as well, but it's also understandable as the PS4 is a kind of outdated, console at the moment, but it still would be nice to see. Now, maybe we'll see this coming to other consoles in the future. It seems like PlayStation seems to be the most responsive whenever it comes to gacha games. Maybe we'll see it come to Xbox, but I doubt it. I mean, Xbox is probably the last one I'll put on the list that would actually take it, but maybe even Nintendo Switch or the new Nintendo console that's coming out. That'd be very cool to see, Wuthering Waves working with that, because people have really wanted gacha games coming over to that platform, including Genshin Impact, who still haven't gotten a Nintendo Switch version. And it would be the funniest thing ever if Wuthering Waves were to get a Nintendo Switch version before Genshin Impact did, because yeah, it's just the funniest thing. But again, seeing as Nintendo don't really like to work with Chinese companies too much, I think that maybe that won't be happening anytime soon either, and that we're just gonna have to stick with the PlayStation version. So if you're a PlayStation player, then you are eating good here, and it is really, really looking good for you. And yeah, we finally got an official announcement of it coming to the PlayStation 5, which is super exciting to see. It says, following on from Kuro's PlayStation announcements today, we'll see the game in action on PS5 for the very first time at China Joy 2024. This PlayStation event takes place from the 26th until the 29th, and you'll be able to watch it live at Bilibili. So that's in a couple of days' time, and we should be able to see this game being played on the PlayStation, and hopefully we'll see how well it runs on that console, because again, as I said, it is a very good console, the PS5, and maybe they'll announce something about the PS4 as well, or maybe not, seeing as, they might not even release it in the first place. But again, looking very good, and I'm super excited for the upcoming updates of Wuthering Waves. We just had the Changli banner that came out, which I think was a massive success. There was a lot of people pulling on that banner, a lot of people spending on that banner, and it seems like more people lost their 50/50s than like usual. So again, maybe that was on purpose, or maybe everyone's just collectively gotten bad luck. So I definitely think that Wuthering Waves will be up in revenue in the Sensor Tower this month, and it'll be super interesting to see how it compares to Zone Zero, and especially with this PS5 news. As I talked about in the last video, Zone Zero was named as one of the top 10 games on PlayStation, which is super good, and maybe we'll see Wuthering Waves up there too. Maybe Wuthering Waves can actually make it to the top 10 spot, or maybe even higher than Zone Zero, because it being a free game, it being super accessible to loads of people, could actually be a recipe for success, because, more people are exposed to it, more people can play it. And as I say all the time, people just like to scroll through the store and just, pick up free games and try it. And Wuthering Waves and Zone Zero will be those games there that people will try, regardless of whether it's a gacha game or not. So yeah, super exciting stuff coming from Wuthering Waves, and I can't wait to see the PlayStation version at China Joy. I definitely will be looking for that. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think Wuthering Waves is going to run well on PlayStation 5? And do you think it should come to PS4 as well? But yeah, that's about what I got for this video. If you did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And also go over to Gamersubs, as I said, use my code KAZA. There will be a link down below where you can get yourself 10% off a ton of cups, tubs, and even more. As I said, they got some really nice events going on. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. That's all. See ya.